Details of the crime scene, the brutal stabbings, the cleansing and taping of the bodies, even the dismemberment of a child. Sitting before Bill Hirons, I tried to imagine him as a 17-year-old boy, and I wonder, was he even capable of this?
I just did some foolish things back in those days when I was a kid, without much thought.
You ended up with this nickname, you know, the Lipstick Killer.
Yeah.
So, what we're interested in is how you got from being caught stealing the wallet or whatever it was, or being arrested for that, and being targeted, you know, for these more serious crimes, the 2 murders and the kidnapping and murder of the little girl.
Well, these were unsolved crimes, and they happened to be murders too.
Yeah.
And that's what the publicity was over. And they were looking for somebody to convict on that.
Yeah.
And it pretty well summarizes what the situation was on me at that time. That everybody was pointing their finger at me, and they didn't have any reason to, except that I had been a burglar.
You're right. Had you ever, in any of the burglaries, the break-ins, whatever, had you ever done something that hurt a person physically? In other words, that was like an assault where you hit somebody or hurt somebody physically?
No. When they were trying to arrest me, I did fight back.
When you were arrested, one of the things that complicated things for you, you had a gun at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, a loaded gun.
Yeah.
So that didn't sit well, I guess, with the police.
Well, I used it to get away.
Yeah.
I stopped it from chasing me by using the gun.
Yeah.
It gave me a little lead, but it didn't get me far enough.
No.
And then the detective came up. He knew I had a gun because the people that were chasing me told him that I had one. And as soon as he saw me, he started shooting with his gun. And he shot 3 times. I didn't shoot at all. And but he missed. And so I took the gun that I had and I threw it at him. And he ducked. The gun hit soundly on the floor. It didn't go off. And I jumped on top of him, and we were wrestling on the floor. That's when somebody came up behind me and hit me over the head with
the flower
pots.
Yeah. Having the gun helped make the police think that you were somebody capable of doing very violent crimes.
Probably.
You confessed, and the rest is history. You know, the last 60 years is history. So what's intriguing is, what were the things that, in your mind, led to your confessing? How did that?
Yeah. No,
were there any things that the prosecutors did say you had done or whatever? Was there any truth that, looking back in your own mind, in any of their allegations?
No, I don't believe so. Prosecutors had nothing. In fact, the prosecutors admitted later on that they had no evidence at all. Without the confessions, they could not have gotten convictions. It was impossible to. And now that, since then, I've found other things that came up.
Hirons remembers the Suzanne Degnan investigation like it was yesterday. It has been 6 months since the brutal murder of Suzanne Degnan. The public is desperate for a suspect. After a botched burglary, Hirons is cornered by police, only a few blocks away from the Degnan home. He spends a month in custody being interrogated by police. Police are convinced that Bill Hirons is the lipstick killer and that he is responsible for the brutal murder of 2 women and the dismemberment of a little girl. He faces the death penalty. Police bring Hirons to pose for the press, reenacting how he kidnapped Suzanne Degnan from her bedroom. In exchange for a life sentence, Hirons confesses to murdering all 3 victims. There is no trial. He is sentenced to life in prison.
And when the Degnan child was killed, the publicity was outrageous on it. The newspapers kept it going.
Right.
Such that everybody was scared.
The Daily News publishes that Hirons admits to all 3 murders, even before he can give his own statement. Everyone believes Hirons is guilty.
The police were manufacturing evidence against me.
Who?
The police.
The police. Okay.
Investigators. I can establish that because of what appeared in the newspapers at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Hirons claims the Chicago police put him through a severe interrogation. In 1946, there were no Miranda rights for the accused. Hirons says he was denied access to a lawyer. He says he suffered beatings, was denied food and water, given injections with sodium pentothal, truth serum, and for some unknown reason, a spinal tap. Hirons claims he was tortured. After his month in custody, under relentless publicity and scrutiny, Hirons reluctantly confesses to being the lipstick killer.
You confess to killing the 3 women. That brings in the question, which must be intriguing people for all these 60 years. What really prompted you to confess?
Because it's gone to trial with all the stuff that they had in the newspapers. Mm-hmm. I would have been convicted, and it would mean the death sentence. And if I'm dead, I can't prove that I didn't commit the crime. So I had to stay alive. I would be dead if I did not confess to it. And then I would not have a chance to get those crimes solved. I could solve them, I thought, on my own.
Does this case remain unsolved? Hirons is the longest-serving inmate in the state of Illinois. Legal counsel and nationwide campaigns have attempted to come to Hirons' aid as a wrongly accused man. Despite an exemplary record, Bill Hirons has always been denied parole.
Meeting with Hirons poses a serious question. It's unlikely that Hirons would ever have been capable of the things done by the lipstick killer. He just doesn't seem to fit my profile. Looking back all the years now, what are the things about which you have the most regret, or do you have regret about certain things in your life?
Lots of regrets. A big loss. A big, big loss. All the things I could have done with my life, and I have to end up spending 60 years in prison.
Bill Hirons remains in prison as the lipstick murderer, but the crimes may be unsolved. But 2,000 miles away, are answers right around the corner? Los Angeles, January 15th, 1947. A woman's naked corpse is found in a vacant lot. The scene is shocking. The woman's face is gashed with a blade, ear to ear, creating a hideous grin.
They find a body that's perfectly bisected, cut in half. All the blood has been drained from the body. They see signs of torture. See a careful posing of the body, not just dumped there or thrown there, but a careful and deliberate posing.
Her upper torso is separated from her legs by 6 inches. Her arms are raised over her head and bent at the elbows at 90-degree angles. She is placed inches away from the sidewalk to ensure her corpse would be noticed. Police stand over her mutilated body in shock. They have never seen anything like this before. Investigators identify the body. A struggling Hollywood actress, 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, An autopsy reveals none of her internal organs were damaged. Her body was cut in half with surgical precision. Police have no leads. But the murderer is a constant presence in the investigation, providing intriguing clues. The killer sends Elizabeth Short's missing purse to police, along with cryptic postcards that taunt the public. Over the course of the next few months, newspapers receive numerous messages from the killer, teasing the press with his identity. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Stone sees a pattern in these unsolved crimes.
This is an individual who is desperate for recognition. He wants credit for what he's done. Like the lipstick killer, the Black Dahlia murderer has a need to communicate with the public.
Investigators follow every lead, yet the case goes unsolved. The mysterious and dramatic dismemberment has made Elizabeth Short